Good afternoon and welcome to Colin's Vegan Kitchen. I'm Colin, I'm a vegan, and this is the kitchen. Okay, so what I'm going to do in these episodes is show you how easy it can be to cook vegan, but make it taste just like your mam never did when you were eating meat. It's the same stuff, same way you prep it, it's just not using animals, and there's no misery involved at all. So a bit of backstory. I was born in the Isle of Man. I now live in Los Angeles, but in those days, you know, it was normal. You have your meat for Sunday dinners, your steak and chips, your fish and chips, your cheese sandwiches, your pints of milk. In those days it was known that, or told to us, that milk was good for you. Calcium, make your bones strong. Footballers drank it, which we now come to understand was a pile of bollocks, really. But I did it. You know, left school. I always wanted to be a musician, which I did. Become a musician. You know, you get a band together when you're kids. You sign on the dole because you got no money. So at that point, you know, it's like loaf of bread, someone's got a block of cheese in the fridge, probably been there for a few months but it tastes great, and that was what we did. We'd play music, eat cheese sandwiches or beans on toast with cheese, which brings me to what we'll be cooking today, which is cheese toasties, or as they like to call it in America, a grilled cheese. So yeah, you know, when we were kids, we were signing on the dole, we were playing in bands, want to be rock stars. Unfortunately, at that point, you couldn't live like a rock star because we had no money. So the dole would send us out for jobs. We didn't want them, but they'd send us anyway to get us off the dole. And the singer I was in a band with at that time got sent to an abattoir. He came back from the interview and said it was just absolutely fucking horrendous, and stopped eating meat that day. Obviously we're all standing around going, shit, that must have been bad, and but where's me bacon sandwich? Eventually it struck home that what I was doing was eating small fluffy animals or big fluffy animals, just for the pleasure of my taste buds, and getting a fix of a bacon sandwich, or, you know, so on and so forth. So I became vegetarian for about 14 years. Fortunately, I did get a record contract, and I remember we used to tour around Europe, which was a nightmare for me. Because over there, particularly places like Germany, it's meat for breakfast, meat for dinner, lunch, 11s. Any time that you can eat, it's meat. So I ate a lot of chips, or French fries, as they call it in America, where I am living now. But, you know, you get through, go forward a few years, you know, I'm on tour in America. No one in the band's vegan or vegetarian, so we're stopping off at McDonald's all the time, to the point of I'm going crazy. And I got off that tour and ate a bacon sandwich for whatever reason, which I thoroughly enjoyed, because I didn't give up meat or fish because of the taste. I gave it up because of the slaughter, the misery, the horrendous conditions that they're under, the stress of the animals, and I'm putting all that stuff inside my body, which I wasn't happy with at all. So I started eating meat for a couple of years or more, and again I woke up one morning and I couldn't do it. I was like, fuck it, I can't do this any longer. There's so many substitutes out there that you know, from beef to cheese, which we'll be cooking with today. So yeah, the amount of stuff out there is incredible. Plus, I'm not adding to the pockets of the multi-billion-dollar industry that the meat and dairy manufacturers make. This show is about cooking and making things tasty, making things that you want to make for your friends, whether you are vegan, vegetarian, or think about it, just giving you the option to show you that whatever you eat now, whether it be curries, Sunday roast dinners, spaghetti bolognese, whatever, it can be done without an animal suffering for it. So, also when we were kids, we'd listen to music while we're eating cheese sandwiches or bacon sandwiches. One of the bands I loved at the time was a band called Thin Lizzy. Particularly, there's a few songs like Jailbreak. There's probably a few animals trying to jailbreak right now as I'm talking. A load of bollocks to you to get out of an abattoir because they know it's going to be kicked to pieces and gets the throat cut. So, back to the food. Right, the cheese toastie or grilled cheese. What we will need is cheese. Now, Dyer make a great product. It melts like cheese, it's stringy like cheese, it tastes like cheese, but no suffering. So that's the main ingredient. Well done, Dyer. Next, another one, butter. Love butter. I'd have butter sandwiches with brown sauce on when I was a kid. Thick white bread, marvellous. Earth Balance have brought this out. It's been around for a while. Tastes like butter, stunning. Marvellous. Next is the bread that will put this shit in. Now, when you're walking around the aisles, it's really easy just to pick a loaf of bread up. Once you start looking at the ingredients in the bread, you'll find that there's dairy products in there, whey, powdered milk, whatever. It's there. So what becomes easier the more you do it is, it's a bit of a hassle, but start reading the ingredients. Find the ones you like. There's no harm caused. These are just from local supermarkets, nothing special, and you get the gist of it, you get the hang of it, and you get into it, and you know what you're doing. Same with anything. Piece of piss. So right, what we'll do then, okay, right, I haven't got a cheese toastie maker, grilled cheese, so I'm using a frying pan, or skillet, as they call them here. So what I like to do is get me bread, and put the butter on the outside of the bread. Don't use any oil in the pan, because we don't want all that shit clogging our arteries up. Or do we? I mean, I do, but it's down to personal preference on that one. And yeah, a bit of garlic salt sprinkled, a bit of pepper, and the good old Heinz tomato ketchup or Daddy's brown sauce, which I don't happen to have at the moment, but I'll go to the shop later and get some. Okay, so let's get to it, shall we? All the best. So, what we're going to do first is get the old pan on. Get that nice and hot. And secondly, what we're going to do is stick the fucking kettle on. Because you need a cup of tea with your toastie. Very, very important. Now, drink of preference is tea. Very important. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to get the old bread out. And what we should do... now, what you'll also realise is that this is very basic. What I'm trying to do here in the initial first one is when you get the munchies, people automatically presume that if you're vegan or vegetarian, you're going to grab a carrot. Well, for me, that's fine, but I'd rather something really tasty. So as we go on in the series, I will get more elaborate with the food. Hang on, just getting the stuff out of the fridge again. We've got, like I say, our butter and our cheese. Now let's take this off, shall we? What we're going to do is butter the bread on the outside. Also, you can add infinite fillings to the cheese toastie or grilled cheese, and the world is your vegan oyster, as they say. So right, we've got the bread on there, bish bosh, very nice, lovely jubbly. Now we'll just wrap that up and we'll add the old cheese, shall we? Very important. And like I say, you know, as we go along, I'll be getting into making curries, so many different, you know, selections of food from around the world. We're going universal. So there's your cheese on the old bread. We're going to give this an old twist. The garlic salt, bit of pepper, get in my son. Kettle's boiling away, which is always a good thing. It's never off in this kitchen, actually. It just keeps going and going and going. Go through kettles like a robber's dog up a drain pipe, geezer. Right, so what we'll do, we'll lay the cheese on the buttered side of the old frying pan. Yeah, it's sizzling away now. We'll lay the old top on here. Give the old hands a quick wipe. And yeah, so like I say, very basic. It's better than a carrot. I mean, the majority of vegan food is plant-based, so it may look like you're eating a load of mashed potatoes with not a lot of nutritionally added bits around the spuds, but you know, stuff like the vegan beef, chicken, ham, whatever is all plant-based. So you're getting, you know, you're getting your vitamins, and you grow up to be big and strong. Also, I like to use this nutritional yeast flakes. Now it's got a bit of a cheesy taste also, and it's got B vitamins, protein and fibre, which is always a good thing in my book. Right, so we're just waiting for this to sizzle away like they do. Like I say, the cheese gets really soft and stringy and stretchy. So if you put that on a plate and gave it to someone they didn't know was vegan cheese, believe me, I'd be the first one to go, this is bollocks. This is not cheese. But with this, I couldn't tell the difference from one to the real cheddar. So I'm always the one that will sort of say, well, yeah, it could be a bit better, but the majority of stuff I've tried and that I do cook, for instance, if you're making like a beef stew type thing, once you put all the stuff into it, the spices, the gravy type stuff, you can't tell the taste of the meat anyway. I mean, the only slight thing that you can tell is the texture. They're still working on that, but the rest, you know, I've made dinner for people, like sort of spaghetti sauces with the meat, fake meat in it, the mince. No, they couldn't tell. Could not tell. So, wah, 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 wah. But I told them I'm not that much of a prat or twat. Right, let's give this a flip over, shall we? Oh, look at that. Going marvellous. Yeah, like the first half of this show is me just basically telling my story of where I came from and what I was up to as a kid and how I became a vegan. Stories, s'mores, but you sort of realise that I wasn't a hippie loving hug a tree type of geezer. I'd be in the pie and mash shop knocking it back like everyone else, but it's just, you just hopefully become aware of different ways of doing things in life. It's like anything. I was a boozer for 40 odd years, knocked that on the head 6 years ago, raging alcoholic. I was raging, but the substitute for beer and vodka and whatever else came in bottles, cans and behind bars and in off licenses, and it was tea. Always been a tea drinker, but now an addictive tea drinker, and still I go back to either the PG Tips standard, or that's probably about my favourite, but there's loads of them out there. Twining 1762, 72, one of those, very good. Right, anyway, this looks like it's going to be sort of done in 2 shakes of lamb's tail, which we won't be eating. So let's, I'll give you a whiff of this. Just have a look at this. Look at that. It's a cheese toastie. We'll cut it open in a moment. We'll splosh a bit of this on the plate, shall we? There, oh, you get in there, my son. All the best. Shag you later. Kettle's boiling nicely for a nice cup of splosh, and we shall try this toastie. Toot sweet. Oh, I thought the kettle was boiling. Silly me. Alright, so we're going to cut this in 2, and look at this. I'm going to close up on the old cheesy toastie. Look at that. Ooh, very nice. There's the kettle. Here's the cheese toastie. Hope you enjoyed it. Colin's Vegan Kitchen. All the best. Lovely. Incredible.